Hi, I'm Nate Caddy. You're listening to the Don Pod.
Welcome to the Don Pod, the supporters podcast. Here's your hosts, Sam and Nate.
3, 2, 1, yeah!
Another slow start costs the Bombers as we go down 11-4-70 to Carlton 11-12-78 in front of about 78,000 people at the MCG on a bitterly cold Sunday night. Welcome back to the Don Pod. I'm joined by Nathan. Hello.
Hello, everyone, and hello, Sam. How are you feeling? How do you feel after the game, during the game, before the game? Emotions?
Dunno.
Hmm.
Dunno. Is that sufficient for a podcast? Is that okay? Can we wrap it
All
up
right,
there?
then we're wrapping it up there, people, with a dunno.
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 Tough one.
Yeah, I tell you what, I might take away from that. Carlton shit.
Carlton
Like,
are shit.
If you're a Carlton supporter somehow listening to this like a weirdo,
There is at least one.
all right, well then you're a weirdo.
Apparently listens to us for to like benefit from our pain.
Oh well, look, but our
There's no
pain
pain.
is
There's no
we
pain.
lost, but we are missing. How many did you say?
8, I think.
8 of our first round players. You were missing Harry Mackay.
Which, honestly, I think if you had, might have been a different story because we would have struggled, but
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Charlie Curnow kicks 2 against Jaden Levert. I mean, come on. Can't you be better than that? And just one other thing. Gary, what's his name? The Gary Lyon, the commentator. Was he really barracking for Charlie to kick 20? I don't know if you're listening to the
I
Fox.
watched it on Channel 7 for once in my life.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Fox coverage, Gary, every time he's like, Charlie should be down the forward, one out with Levert. He should be deep in forward. That's where every time we got the ball, he should be deep. You shouldn't be up this far up. And I'm like, who are you barracking for? Us or them, clearly? But
Well,
anyway.
I think tactically that makes a lot of sense. Anyway,
Yeah, I agree.
and a similar story to last week,
Mm.
really, for us. A slow start, 6 goals down at
Slow start, shit
time.
start, yeah.
It was 1 point difference. Literally, we were 1-1-7 this week and last week.
Mm.
Carlton had 1 more point than Brisbane. It was a carbon copy. They went inside 50, I think 13 times in the first quarter and scored 10 times.
Gross.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Yes. However,
Mm.
predictably, we got to quarter time and went, oh shit, this ain't working.
Mm.
Changed a little something, which I'm going to say we probably changed the same something last week. Brad, start with that something.
Get that something going.
Whatever it is, start with it. Because I don't know, I can't articulate what changed, but Christ almighty, we didn't get in front this week. I think we got within probably a kick was the best we got, but we were always kind of in it.
Yep.
Once we got back in it, if that makes sense. I need to do some numbers. Sorry.
Yep,
I'm
go.
talking a lot. Let me do that, and then you
Sorry.
can speak. Martin had 32 possessions, a goal, and just over half a kilometre gained. DP3, in his first game back, had 30 touches, 10 clearances. And we'll get to the rest of that sentence later on. Durham had 27 touches and 6 clearances. We'll be very surprised if he plays next week.
Well, the guy, he was fine, though. He played out the
Not
game.
point. It was
Okay.
bad. It was
I'm
bad
confused
look.
by that because I thought it was about what injury they had.
Well, who fuck knows? But it was a bad action. Caldwell, 26 touches, a goal, 5 clearances and 8 tackles, and slightly more metres gained than Nicky Boy Martin. Peter Wright kicked 3 goals. Jay Gresham kicked, I'll call it 1.5 because he certainly didn't mean the second one.
No.
Perkins, Martin, Lual, debutant, big boy, Guelphy, Dersma, Caldwell kick 1 each. Hello.
A little shout out there to Lual, too, because I thought he played well.
He was good. He mowed it along, and he's tall, and he's agile, and he's
He's got some toes. He's got some
quick,
speed.
and he laid a few hard hitting tackles.
Yep.
I like to see.
I'd watched him in the VFL and thought he'd been all right, to be honest. And, and I thought what I saw in the VFL, I saw in the seniors. So, yeah, no, good on him.
I did think he faded a little bit, which is okay. I noticed him a hell of a lot more in the first half.
That's totally okay.
Got to be honest.
Yeah.
All right. Well, tell me how you feel, because I spoke a lot then, and
Oh, no. Well, I want you to finish off with the team stats because I think this tells the story of the game to me.
the team stats. Okay,
Yes.
sure thing. -9 disposals, -51 kicks, plus 42 handballs. It's a story as old as time. We overhandball the ball.
Yep.
And we were -70 marks.
Yeah,
What?
so all their kicks, they were just kicking it around themselves and kicking it, and we just couldn't get the ball at stages.
I agree. They didn't go forward a lot with that kick
No.
though, which
Mm.
is good a little
Which is,
bit.
I think, a bit about how shit they are.
But also
One.
we're defending the ground okay.
Yes, and I agree.
We were -1 clearance, which against Cripps, Walsh, Chera,
100%. That's
the other
nothing.
geezer whose name I forget, the good one, the one I
Oh,
actually
he
like.
starts with H. Hayes. No, Hay.
Oh, we're good at this.
Oh, no, it is. It's Hay.
Hewitt,
Hewitt.
your
Damn
boy,
it. Yeah, he's
your
in my
boy.
draft team. I should know.
Jesus. Anyway, with them,
Yep.
good result really from
Yeah.
the midfield. -1 inside 50, which is interesting given they have had 8 more
Yep.
scoring shots than us.
Yep.
-5 hit outs. Goldie was comprehensively beaten. I can't quite believe that's only -5.
Yep.
He must
It's
have
around the
clawed that
ground
back.
where the stats are a bit lower that you'll see.
-9 contested marks. Yeah, we're a bit short, and we were up 10 turnovers. I mean that.
Well, so the story that tells me, and when you look at the last one with turnovers, so we were +10 in turnovers. So we were clearly even at everything. Clearances, getting the ball, getting it forward, inside 50 is the same, clearances are the same, all that sort of stuff. Except for that first quarter, you wiped that away where but we dragged a lot of those numbers back. But where we just kept killing ourselves, and it was the same against Brisbane too, and probably it's been the same in a lot of games this year, is the turnovers. We just gave the ball back, and sometimes at very bad spots, yeah. There was one where it was Archie Roberts just
I just gave it straight to him. Yeah,
Oh,
not
they
even
kicked a point from it,
player
I
in
think,
sight.
but it was just there was just some moments where you're like, horrible
I think
football.
to illustrate that, we're actually level on scores from turnover. It was 51 apiece, but Carlton kicked 7 goals, 9.
Exactly.
So didn't quite punish as much as maybe they could have. What stood out to me was, again, it's not our back six was never the issue. Even when they were waltzing in and scoring, I was really filthy on the midfield in the first quarter.
Yep.
That's where I thought we were really letting ourselves down. We just, so many times, I reckon it was Walsh or Chera out the front of the stoppage.
Yep.
How's
That went on for most of the game.
How's that happened? Like what? When I checked at half time or 3/4 time, we're actually up in clearances.
Yep.
So they must have called it back a little bit.
They won that, I reckon, the last quarter. They out cleared us, I guess would be the.
I like it. And the forward line efficiency was appalling in the first half, particularly, but that got better. Big Pete had his best game, I reckon, for some time.
Oh, but Pete's been great, I reckon, for a while now. Like he
has.
Yeah.
I'm calling it his best game for a while still.
Yeah, fair enough. But 3 goals, 12 hit outs, that's a, I don't know what stats, how many possessions actually, but he's been playing as a backup ruckman, a very good role.
And I guess it's just nice to see him hit scoreboard as well, because that makes you a very dangerous dude.
Well, I think that's the thing he's been missing probably in the first few weeks when he took on this role. He wasn't scoring much, but now he seems to, the last few weeks, I reckon he's kicked a couple every game, and this week 3. So he seems to be finding that balance a bit better.
And that has to really help Caddy as well, who last year got goal of the year, this year got assist of the year. And again, set Gresham up for probably the easiest goal of his life. But just to hit it off the ground and to do it with such precision was a great outcome.
Yes,
but
yes.
the thought process to do that, I quite enjoy. Nick Martin did it later on in the game.
He did, yep.
And hit a bloke on the chest. I was like, you're a prick. Like,
he's so skilled. He, again, just a quick gushing moment about Nick Martin. Again, his development is just going along cherry ripe. Again, how do we get him? Like, West Coast, come on.
Yeah, we can.
But he is, he's turning into our second best player, I think is a fair statement. I mean, Caldwell's certainly having a very, very good year, but I think it's what Nick Martin can do on the outside, which is really, really impressive.
I would very happily share the honours there because I really like what Caldwell brings to the table.
Again, yeah.
Another 8 tackles, 5 clearances, 26 touches and a goal. He's hard. He's a hard man. And actually, we're going all over the place here. But
No, that's right.
There was a 10-minute period in that second quarter where I genuinely thought Xavier Dersma was going to kill himself. Time after time after, he dislocated his shoulder, whacked it back in, and then went and tried to take mark of the century and just crashed to the earth again.
Yep. No, he's been. I really like the way Dersma goes about that. I've been a big fan of him since he came to the club. I'm just his overhead marking. Him and Durham, they've got that ability to take these beautiful overhead marks. So, the one I think I want to jump back to is just the goldfish. So,
Big fish now. Yep.
yep, just a little stat there. So, hitouts were pretty even, but it's a hitouts to advantage where De Koning had 6 more hitouts to advantage and 10 score involvements, whereas Goldfish had no score involvements. And I thought it was strange in this game again that we didn't pick like an actual. And again, this is no reflection on Peter Wright. He great as a second ruckman, but we're just losing too much, I think, in that first ruck role. And I'd love to see something change in that for a couple of weeks, just to have a look at, say, what Vigo can do. Because I watched a bit of the VFL. I just want to jump in there, and I cannot handle. We should have a gig as commentators for the Essendon VFL, because the guys they had one guy had an English accent, and I couldn't deal with that. Like, I found that really annoying. I'm like, I can't handle the way he's pronouncing names, and just things that really annoyed me. But they had that ruckman that we got, Black and like, the one.
That's a real good pronunciation. 10 out of 10.
It's something black and fish or something. I don't know what it is. But anyway, we drafted him in the mid-season.
Lachlan, I think we'll go with.
Lachlan, yeah. He was playing as a defender. I'm going, so...
Well...
Why did we pick him?
It's the start topic. I did take a peek and saw that Vigo was rucking against Pitnet, who is a big boy and he's a decent sort of ruckman.
He's an AFL ruckman.
Yes. And he was beaten, Vigo, but only just.
Mm.
And I can't help, and this is 100% 2020 hindsight, just wonder if someone who's a bit more mobile than Goldie, who rucks his heart out, I was actually really pissed off at him because it's the first time I've noticed what you say all the time.
Yes.
In that he's just constantly watching the opposition ruckman.
Yep.
There was one stoppage in our forward line, sort of centre half forward, where they were like, the umpire had the ball and he was waiting for them to come over to throw it up, but they just didn't. They stood like 5 metres off. I reckon it was the last quarter. They stood about 5 metres off. He threw it up and De Koning just...
Yeah, ran through. Yep, I saw that.
What are you trying to achieve there, Goldie, mate? Like...
He's very negative as his rucking style. Like, he's there to try and negate the ruck, not win the ruck contest. It seems like he's just there.
But it didn't work.
It kills me to watch because, with Draper and Bryan, you got these guys that just wanted to win the contest.
I don't know. If you're giving Brownlow votes, I could certainly make an argument for De Koning having 3.
Yeah, he was close to their best player.
Between him, Akers, Hewitt, Walsh, like they were all pretty good.
Yep.
But yeah, badly beaten. And I like I said, I just wonder if Vigo, who's a bit more mobile,
I agree.
He's a guy that can play against someone like De Koning. He's a good ruckman, fine.
I would just like to see it.
Yeah, someone like Cherry, sure. Let's play Goldstein.
Yep, 100%.
I'm okay with that. Gorns, Camerons from Collingwood of the world's fine.
Well, we've got Geelong next week against Stanley and or Blitzarves. So would you... Stanley's not a great ruckman.
No, but they get the job done.
Yeah.
Again,
anyway.
that's one where you could say Vigo and Pete.
Yeah, I just want to see him have a go, to be honest.
Yeah, anyway.
The other one I want to quickly just jump onto is Perkins.
Got subbed.
Yeah, it's just he's
a bit poopy.
He's a bit poopy. I agree. Like, he's not setting the world alight. I just had some stats there, like 7 games with 15 or less possessions. He had no CBAs this week because Parrish was back in the team, so that booted him out from that role. And Parrish does that better, I think. He's kicked 12 goals, so that's not horrible. Like if you double that, that's 25 goals.
There was a moment at half forward where he was in front of Sard.
Yep.
And just got pushed off.
Yep.
Barely even pushed. He just fell over under the slightest bit of contact. I reckon that was the point where Brad went, yeah, righto.
Yeah. I agree. Look, he just there's moments where he does something, you go, oh, that was good. Then moments go, what the fucking hell? Like, he's moving towards that Gresham sort of, where you could really start to get frustrated with him. Because Gresham does things that you go, oh, that was good. But then he does so many things, you go, what the fuck is that, mate? Like,
just
turning around and spinning and having playing on for 50. Mate, you cannot make that distance. Stop doing that.
Just to finish off on Perkins. Again, I'm in that position where I can cop it a little bit more than Gresham because he's played 100 less games and
yes,
5 less years of football. Okay. Perkins is very close. Like, if you just got a 10% improvement out of him,
You're right.
you'd probably find he's a much better player.
Yeah, good point.
But he's now played 80-odd games, and it's kind of like, well, when's it going to happen, Sunshine?
Yeah.
At some point, you have to turn that corner.
Yes.
You don't get the tall player excuse. You don't, there's kids in that team that are performing really well. One of them who I'll talk about in a minute. What are you doing?
Well, I think we could. And again, the real positive here, and let's jump into that conversation about the young kids, is, like the kids that just are doing the job for us.
Well, poor Angus Clark had to play as like our second tall defender at times.
Yes.
The poor man.
Or boy.
Poor boy.
Yes.
Zach Johnson's kicking I could frame, and just beautiful long kick, beautiful strikes, pure.
Yep.
He had 18 touches, 14 of them kicks. So
I thought he was
really
good.
happy with him, particularly because he got 80 in Supercoach, which is fantastic. If you jumped on him earlier, then you should have.
I love your train of thought. I love what you're thinking there.
But he was solid. But yeah, that kicking, just bottle that. That's beautiful, beautiful long kicks. I don't want to talk about Gresham, Parrish while we're talking about positives.
Yeah, no.
Setterfield, I like Setterfield again. 7 tackles. Cripps he wasn't on Cripps the whole night, I kind of noticed, but Cripps only had 13 or 16 touches. It wasn't.
No, Cripps did bugger all, to be
Wasn't very
honest.
Cripps-like.
Yeah, so you can say Setterfield's done his job there. And as opposed to like Chincotta on merit, who has
Very negative.
has 3 possessions, 3 handballs for the game, and they play. And again, I'll go back to Carlton and say, what's the strategy there? Like, you can't play a guy who has 3 touches in the midfield against Brisbane or Collingwood. That's not going to work. Like,
And it was such a weird one because Martin goes off and has his 30 and a goal. Caldwell has his 28 and a goal.
Yep.
Like, what have you really achieved by tagging the bloke we've been sitting at half back?
Yeah,
for
agreed.
the last month?
And I just think, again, that's a bad coaching decision, because that's, if I'm a Carlton supporter, I'm going, what are we doing there? What's the plan there? Like, Chincotta comes on and just becomes useless, but he keeps merit to 15? Is that worth it?
Yeah, 14 touches, clearance, 9 tackles still for merit. So he still contributed.
Yeah.
You would have won if you didn't tag merit, mate. Like, you should be beating us. This is the thing. Like, I'm trying so hard to temper my expectations of this side because they should be beating us. And honestly, given where they think they should be, it should have been a 10-goal loss.
Well, that first quarter should have been repeated in the third quarter.
Well, you control it and, kick a couple of extra goals a quarter for the rest of the game and you've got a 40, 50-point win.
But the reality is, Carlton should be, like, Curnow should have kicked 6. They should have kicked that first quarter, maybe let us have the second quarter, but then they should have kicked 5-1 in the third. Like, really, they should be a mile ahead of us.
But that's what Brisbane did to us last week, right? We got to that point, we were back in it, and then they went, right, well, we've got to turn on now. And they won by 3 goals, and it was fairly comfortable for the last sort of 10 minutes. Yep. It was real squeaky bum time for them until there was about 90 seconds left.
Well, they had a cut to a couple of the supporters I loved this, actually. They cut to some of the supporters and, they're like, I'm going, they are stressing bad up there in the grandstand.
We're kind of sitting there going, we've done all right here, really.
I was thinking that too in the last goal. Well, we put ourselves back in it. That's good.
Now, the key next week is just to not be out of it at quarter time. That's the goal.
It's Geelong, so no doubt.
I know. It's at the G at least. Not.
Yeah, that's true.
We play them down in Geelong later on.
But back on the young kids, that Luell, I thought really played well. Kako gets like 2 possessions, but he seems to do like so well. Like he
chases. He's there.
He chases. Yeah, he's around the game. Jackson was still jacks on, not jacks off.
He had a few more jacks off moments. But he was still jacks on. I support that.
Can we quickly talk about Laverde in that last quarter where he just tackles Charlie to the ground? I'm going, that's our Laverde that we love and know.
There's people who didn't think that was a free kick.
It was a free kick.
And it was, and I'm agreeing with you. But
sorry.
Wholeheartedly, if I was to give anyone advice, it would be just to stop caring about umpiring.
Yeah.
Let it go, because one, it was a correct decision, as was the rush behind, by the way.
Oh, that hurt
My
me.
issue with the rush behind is it only seems to be paid against us. There's 4 of them a week.
Yep.
And they're not paid. That's my issue. It was probably deliberate.
Yep.
But let's pay it more consistently if that's what we're going to do.
But I feel like I watch a bit of footy, I feel like I've only seen it twice, and they're both Essendon times.
Yes, that's what I mean. It happens every game. Someone will walk over the line. Oh, no. And the umpire, I'm sure the umpire got sucked in because there were 4 Carlton players with their arms up. That was down the Carlton. Well, actually, it was down the Essendon end. That's a lie. But pay it all the time. That's what shit. Anyway, just get over the umpiring because, what Laverde did, that was a free kick. Kono never had the ball and he's just full on tackled him to the ground. Like,
Yeah, so, and Archie Robertson, as you mentioned, Zach Johnson played all good games. So we've got to look at, again, young kids. I did wonder that if maybe in like 2026 or 2027, we might look back at this year and go, geez, those games we got into Zach Johnson and to Archie and to, and these other kids that probably maybe Day Wicks. He was very good, actually, I thought, too, when he came on, to be honest.
He had an impact, which, again, you don't want to do, really.
As a sub, yep.
But
so maybe we'll look back and go, well, that's the positive, when all these other guys are back playing for us. Then we might look back and go, wow, we got really a lot out of those young kids. So, and they're really developed in, 26, 27 maybe. That's the positive I'm trying to sell anyway to myself.
Well, we've got to, because, I mean, if I can just run through the injury list.
Yes.
Just in case you need reminding. So Carlton, Matt Cottrell, who I don't even know if he played, he was TBC. Lockie Cowan, Brody Kemp's Achilles done for the year. Nick Newman's hasn't played all year.
Nick Newman's
Silvani played.
Yep.
Jagger Smith done for the season.
He's played one. He hasn't played a game for him yet. Can't count that.
And then Zach Williams played. So, there's one player there, or two they'd probably have in, Brody Kemp and Nick Newman.
Yeah, so Nick Newman and Mackay, you would say.
And Mackay, sorry, but he's not on that list.
You'd say they're the 2 or 3 that are out, whereas ours are...
Whereas if you do ours, let me just scroll. It covers the whole frigging page. Nick Bryan, walk-up starter.
Yes.
Nick Cox, no. Count him out of that conversation. Draper, walk-up starter. Edwards, no. Sardale Hooley, hard to gauge.
Yeah,
call that a
that's
half
right.
position.
Yep.
Lewis Hayes, I'm going to call him a starter because he was the depth. Like he was our first choice.
Well, sad thing about him is he would have, if he hadn't got injured, he'd be just playing every game this year and getting great development into him. Sad, sucks.
Harry Jones was playing. Kyle Langford was playing. Ben Mackay was playing. Nguyen, no. Zach Reed was playing. Ridley was playing. That is 8. If you're going to be critical, that's 7. Without, if you don't want to include Hayes, Hayes, because I get that he was the depth. 7 of our walk-up best players
and key players, like 2 of the main ruckmen.
They're all tall.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway.
So this is why I'm like, whatever. What frustrates me, and this will frustrate me until the end of time, is is our senior players.
Yes, go.
And this is what frustrates the shit out of me. Gresham had an okay game.
Mm-hmm.
He's a dumbass sometimes in that he'll just make bizarre decisions. He tried to take on Sard and got cooked.
Yep.
And he had a handball and it was like, bruh, I get it. Just handball.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
taking those shots from 50 that don't get anywhere near and it's just the easiest
He can't kick 40, I don't think.
Wiedering's life.
Yep.
Then you had Durham drop a chest mark late in the fourth quarter and you just go...
Yeah, that was hurt.
Little things. These little things make a big difference in a game of football.
Yep.
The one I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I struggle because we gave Caldwell a free pass for his first game. So I realise there's a bit of...
Yeah, no, that's fine.
What's the word? Hypocriticalism, whatever you want to call it here. Darcy Parish. Mate, you can't kick a football at the ripe old age of 27. You're never going to be able to kick a football.
He did butcher some.
Fuck off.
Really butcher.
And it's not the quick clearance kicks. It's
he's running free when he does it.
50 and it barely fucking scrapes the side of that man's boot.
Yep. Yeah, no,
I'm sorry. We were worse with him in the side.
I disagree with that.
How are we better? We took out players to fit him in, and he stunk.
He took 10 clearances, I still think his work around the ground with his handballs are very important for us. Yes, I agree 100%. He butchers the ball by foot. I agree with that, but I don't think we're worse with him in the team. But let's agree to disagree on that one.
A mature way to have a conversation.
Well, I can't sway you. I'm not going to sway you.
No, that's fine. We don't have to agree.
No, but I don't agree that we are worse. I think winning clearances, like what Caldwell can do as well, what Parish does very well, what starters can do too, I think. Because
do I just remind you that we beat Brisbane on clearances last week without Darcy Parish?
Yes, but we'd still lost. Like, we lost by less.
Well,
this week.
Brisbane are the reigning premier. I think there's a little bit to be said for that.
Yeah, but
I
Caldwell's been unreal.
We're now talking. I'm going to cough. Sorry.
Go.
We're now talking about Sardis looking elsewhere.
Yeah,
And you've got a geezer like Parish who's just strolled via the VFL back in, who comes in and can't hit a target from 3 metres away. Like,
but again, there's two factors in that. Like, I still think he needs a few weeks. Like, he has missed a pretty big chunk of football. Like,
he's played 2 full games of VFL.
Yes, but he hasn't played football this year until those 2 VFL games and now 1 senior game. His kicking's always been a problem, and it always will be a problem.
He had 12 kicks, and 3 of them hit a target.
Yep.
3.
Yep.
If I had 12 kicks, I'd hit at least 4.
Yep. But Cripps went at 30. So Parish went at 25% with his kicking. Cripps went at 33%. So 37, sorry. So he had 8 kicks at 37%.
But again, Cripps isn't butchering it when he's waltzing through space uncontested.
But and again, Parish did, and I'm not doubting that. But I still think I love what Parish does in clearances and those handballs. Like, there was a train where he gave a shocking handball to Merritt where he got tackled straight away. The ball spilt back down, and then it came back to Parish, and he gave this beautiful out-the-door handball to running, I think it was Martin at the time, who set him free and set us going. That's what he does really well.
Mm. Look, I'm happy to give you next week, but
then drop him.
If you can't kick,
he's not getting dropped.
You can't fucking kick. You can't play football.
But there's a few guys that I could put in that category, although they're not at 25%.
There are.
We turn the ball over by a lot of players that just butcher.
Yes, but sometimes
kicks.
Sometimes, like the Archie Roberts one.
Yep.
He's seen something and he's kicked it. It was a nice back spinning drop punt. It just didn't go where he wanted it.
Yep.
Darcy Parish nearly misses his foot.
Yep.
And it goes about 15 metres the other direction from where he wanted it to go. It's different. I'll hold any further judgment. I think I've already judged him enough. But he played Geelong.
Geelong.
His future team. There you go. Beautiful.
Well, the thing is, though, we know that the big problem we have with Sardis is his kicking.
But he's 20 and he's getting better at it.
But he's not playing seniors. So
no, that's kind of my point.
Well, do we assume if Durham gets a couple of weeks holiday that Sardis is the straight in?
Yeah, take that.
Then you get to compare the pair.
Durham's getting at least a week.
I still don't understand how he gets a week because the guy didn't get hurt.
Because, who was it? Chera?
Chera, yep.
Chera had his head over the ball, head down, getting the football.
Yep.
And old mate Sammy has decided to turn and bump. And that's the whole thing. As soon as you decide or elect to bump and make contact with the head, which he did,
But he didn't hurt him, so he made contact with the head. I agree with that. But, I mean...
Well, how are they going to grade it? It's low impact, high contact, and reckless. Or... It's not. Well, I don't know if is it intentional if you choose to bump? Probably.
I don't know because Stewart's in trouble then because he hit Green. I think it was.
He got off, but he didn't touch his head at all. There was no head contact.
But he went past the ball, so he chose to bump, went past the ball, and broke his ribs. So again, this is where I get confused. Or didn't break his ribs.
No, they're very.
Green's not playing next week. They've already said he probably won't play next week.
Green.
I'm sure it was Green, Tobias Green. Not Tom Green.
It was Gold Coast for a start.
Oh, what am I thinking of Green? Oh, maybe
Green got the knee to the backside. And looked like
that's right. Yes. Oh no, there was Anderson.
That's right.
Anderson. Sorry,
Anderson had the ball when he bumped him. I think
but he went. No, I reckon he went past the ball.
Anyway, it was a clean bump. This was not.
Well, I mean, I think you're right. I think he will get time, but I'm just a bit confused. Like, he didn't get hurt.
Well, I mean, it should be action, not outcome.
But it always has been.
But it does seem to be always outcome.
Because it could be an accident, and if they concuss them, then you get 2 weeks for that.
Anyway, no news.
I mean, it's not a big deal. Durham also has pulled that ankle again, so he was limping like a
week
mofo.
Off might not be
a couple of weeks
thing for him.
Yeah, that's right. Wouldn't hurt him just to have a rest.
All right, Can I move into some votes? Have we
Yes.
talked through that enough? So let me tell you, Daniel McKinley said Carlton by 8. Was spot on this week. That
Well
makes
done,
my
Daniel.
life nice and easy. He told me he would have rathered the win,
Yeah, we all
but he'll
with Daniel.
take the votes. Now, I can save everyone a bit of time here. Daniel, Nathan, and myself have done
Yes.
the exact same votes.
Which is fascinating. Like, we all watched the game of footy and we all saw the same things.
Rare. 3 to Nick Martin, 2 to Jai Caldwell,
Yeah.
and 1 to Duemetri Petri. Peter. That's it. That's nice and easy this week.
And like, I agree with that. Peter was, he's 3 goals. That's great. And
Well, obviously you agree because that's what you did.
Caldwell's clearance work is just phenomenal. Like, he just cracks in, like, really cracks in.
He's tough.
Mm.
On to the VFL. We also played Carlton and we got done by about 18 points. It was exactly 18 points. I'm just going to get some other stats up here. So 8-6-54 to Carlton, 10-12-72. Been a bit of a crazy old weekend of weather in Victoria, if you're not from this part of the world.
Yes,
So
the old
lots of
Dargo
low
Road's got a few
scoring.
people stuck up on it.
Yes, I did see that. Lots of low scoring football. And even Adelaide and Brisbane. Do you see the weather before that game? Holy heck.
Now, was that the game? There was one. It was the West Coast versus
Oh,
North game I watched.
That was beautiful, brilliant sunshine.
Well, and it was something like 4 goals to 3 goals at once, and 4 goals 11 to 3 goals 5 or something at one stage in the second or third quarter. I'm like, now I'm pretty sure they bag out women's football, and then we got freaking West Coast versus North Melbourne. They both can't kick for shit. Like, West Coast, come on, you could have put North Melbourne away in that game.
Yeah, they do bag out women's football for being low scoring, and I would bag that game of football out 100 times out of 100. I went to bed and had a sleep. Like, I had no interest in it.
I was
But I
watching
can
because of
tell
the
you
players. Yeah.
that it was a lovely blue sky.
It was beautiful and
Sunny day.
Bunbury.
Bunbury, yep.
Yeah.
That's south of Perth, I believe. Anyway, not about them. It's about us. So, Liam McMahon, the recruit we got from VFL, Carlton's VFL, kicked 3 goals, and he kicked 2 last week. So, a bit of form there for him. Oscar Smart kicked 1, and that was a very lovely goal. If you haven't seen it, just do a bit of a dive on Twitter. Beautiful run and dribble kick. Archer May kicked 1 goal too. Davey Jr. kicked a goal. Sardis had 28 touches and 6 tackles. What else we got here? Vigo had 19 touches, 27 hit-outs, 3 clearances, and a couple of tackles.
Now, I want to just quickly bring out this topic that I'm a bit confused by. So we had the mid-season draft a couple of weeks ago.
We did.
We got 2 forwards, McMullen and May, and they seem to be going all right in the VFL. But we're not picking them for seniors. McMullen was an emergency, so maybe he's very close. The one ruckman we picked, as I talked about, he was playing as a defender in the game when I was watching. Blackiston, and the big problem that I thought we had before that mid-season draft was our tall defenders. Yet we didn't pick any of them. Like,
I think that kind of answers what you've said there. Last week we tried Jaron in defence. Don't know if he played in defence that game. I didn't see
him doing it. Yeah.
And this week they've tried young Lockie, Blackiston. So maybe they're just trying to find something.
But why didn't they draft just a defender?
Maybe there wasn't one to draft.
Well, that's a fair point. But when I was watching the Carlton game, the VFL game, one of the Carlton players took a mark, and the commentators, who couldn't stand because of the bloody... because we could do it better, said, he's the leading intercept marker in the VFL. And I went, well, why the fuck didn't we just draft?
Maybe he didn't nominate.
Well, I don't know. You're probably right. But I'm like, why didn't we just draft that kid?
Anyway. Get off your soapbox. Next week, we play Geelong. Mine and your most hated. One of our most hated.
Very much probably my
teams.
Most hated club. I hate Geelong. Cheap bastards.
I'm just going to do a little quick Google of the weather because it's a home game for us.
It's the MCG.
And it's sunny.
4:15, I think.
Possible shower.
Oh, yeah. Sam might go to that one.
Only 1 mil of rain, so that'll be fine. Well, it's at the G. I like to go to the G games.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So we'll have at least one change, we'll assume, with
Durham,
Durham.
yes. Do not do bacon.
Not Do Bacon. No, we got ridiculed for that.
Still think it's funny. Do ham, do bacon.
Durham, yeah. Duh. I reckon young Sardis is a pretty straight swap for that.
Yes, you'd think that.
Who did Geelong have? Cameron. Oh, and Neil. Well, then Neil got subbed off injured, I saw.
Oh, that'd be great because we could. Well, Cameron's
choose
a
your
massive. Like that's a really challenging pick for us because Laverde can't do Cameron. Laverde can't do that sort of athleticism.
Well, he's going to have to do Cameron because it was Neil that got injured. I don't know how bad.
But is Jax on? Is he a possibility?
Jackson's
Probably not.
190 centimetres.
I know, but Laverde
Neil's-
can't run him with Cameron. He'll kill him.
I don't know what the solution is. We
No,
talked
I
about
don't know
this
what the
at
solution
length last week and still
Yeah.
got nowhere. So let's
Nope.
not do that again.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Do we bring in one of the like Moen? Does he like? Do we try and play an extra forward so that maybe
If it's dry,
Mm.
yeah, I'd go an extra tall.
Because I mean Perkins, you could argue he could be dropped. He was pretty shit.
Again, there's no one banging down the door.
Hobbs didn't do a lot.
Hobbs is out of position.
Yeah, but
Parish
he's always going to be
effect.
playing out of position. Like we go back to your Parish issue. Hobbs is another one that can't kick.
He can kick better than Parish. Darcy Parish is one of the worst kicks in the AFL. I've
Yeah.
never seen a man nearly miss his foot so much. Like,
But the difference there is Darcy Parish doesn't get caught as much as Hobbs because Hobbs has only got one side of his
Yes,
body because he
that's-
goes around to that right. Because if he gets stuck on his left, he's fucked. Like he just, I've got nowhere to go here. And if you're a good player on him, you like just try and squeeze him to his left. He's not going to be able to do anything to you. So his weaknesses are, I think, greater.
so we'll say
Mm.
Flogguts Durham out for Flogguts Sardis.
Yep, that's fair flog acting.
McMahon's probably the closest in terms of form. He's played
Yep.
2 games and kicked 5 goals.
That's not horrible.
What did we kick in the end? 11-4 or something? Yeah, 11-4.
And the other thing, we've kicked, like again, this game, we kicked very straight again. Like I think there was some stat I read that inside 40 metres we didn't miss. I think we kicked 7 or 8 straight.
Oh, Big Pete found his kicking boots again.
Yes, he has.
He's been a bit wayward the
Yeah.
last few weeks.
Yep.
Love seeing the big fella kick nice, big, long, straight goals. Don't know what the changes will be. I advocate going slightly taller, but I have enjoyed the mix that we've got going for us right now, to be honest. Apart from those first quarters, I haven't hated being a little bit shorter.
I agree.
It wasn't raining last night. It might have been wet.
It would have been dewy and wet, I imagine. Like it would have been.
4:15 Saturday Arvo. If there's no rain, we probably could go one extra tall.
I would
Particularly
still like to
given-
see Goldie out for Vigo.
Vigo.
Yeah. So I think Geelong's bit of weakness, and this could go both ways. Maybe you say Goldie will be better against Geelong's ruck.
Exposed it a bit.
But then I think Geelong could also go for a really mobile ruckman against Goldie, like a blitz halves, and just try and butch him that way, like because that would kill Goldie running around.
6-day
chasing
break.
someone. Yeah, chasing someone like Blizzard would kill him.
Would kill me.
Kill me in 2 minutes, like watching him
Just
run.
watching it, not
Yeah,
doing it. No,
That's
I
how
wouldn't
it
have to
works.
chase because I wouldn't
No.
get near him, so it's
That's
fine.
right, Yeah.
Can I have a tip, please?
Yeah. Jeez, I hate Geelong. They'll beat us. They always fucking beat us.
They always beat us comfortably too.
Yeah, they're the team that will if they'll get in front in that first quarter, they won't let us come back. They're not that team. They put that away and sort that
it's
shit out.
Mum's Love Cup,
Sorry?
Mother's Love Cup, because it's the brothers coaching.
Oh, right.
Whoever wins gets Mum's
That
Love.
sounded
for
very
the next year.
suspicious.
No,
I think you're having a dig at my mum then.
no, leaving Sue alone.
Look, I think Geelong will win this. I really think this is a big test, biggest test for us. They're
Okay.
they're a big, mature body team. They're
Mature.
they're gonna.
How
flog
much?
us.
How
Oh,
much?
Them by 10 goals.
I'll be a bit more positive just for once.
Good for you.
I'll still go
Be the-
Geelong. I think that's
be the better man.
realistic. By 17.
Ooh,
It's going to piss down rain the whole time, and it will be 17-0. But
Hmm.
it'll be fine. All right. Any other comments? We love Caddy.
I love Caddy. I still don't understand how the second half of the year is going to go. Like it's so much footy still to come. Like there's 10 games at least for us, isn't there? And amazingly, we're
yeah.
still ahead of Carlton on the ladder. Like, how fucking shit are they?
Again, reiterate, if they're taking anything from that game other than, oh boy,
4
We're in
points,
a
and
bit of
thank God.
strife.
Yeah.
Thank God, yeah, because probably save Vossi's job. To
Yeah.
be truthful.
I was so hoping we'd win it, and then Vossi would. They'd have to. I reckon they'd have to sack him, but
Well,
they'd have to.
They would be 15th
Oh.
without that win. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not. Look, they won, so
That's
that
right,
is
yeah.
irrelevant, really. But
Mm.
I just we've had this so often where we win against a West Coast or a Richmond and go, oh God, that was awful to watch.
Mm.
I hope they're feeling the same because
Oh, they have to.
really, I mean, TDK was brilliant. You're probably going to lose him.
Oh, if they lose him, then I'll pack up shop, Carlton supporters. There's not much else going on.
The 705th rebuild you've done in 10 years.
Yep. Go buy some more halfback flankers from Gold Coast or something like that.
Right. Let's wrap it up.
Yep.
Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate your company and go Dons.
Go Bombers.